mental health catch up with Andy and Chris. Welcome to another episode of Anxious Black Belt. Today, the second episode of our mental health catch up with Andy and Chris. This time instead of Tuari. Hopefully, Tuari is gonna be next time. He's recovering from post heart attack, so I didn't want to be too harsh on him and trying to drag him into the. He's got other things to worry about at the moment.
Well, wish him wish him a speedy recovery.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So how are you guys? And what's the mood in September? It's getting cold now. Winter's arriving.
Yeah, it was the heat. The heating has officially gone on today. Just to test. I thought, well, best get the heating on and get it all tested.
Oh, yeah. I must say I've caved. Today's the day. The heating's on. Yeah.
So how was the start of the September for you guys? Do you see a influx of people interested in training? For us, we've got the people steadily coming in, not necessarily staying with us because it's a specific training and not everybody likes what we do. I hope the other clubs who do different things. And how was for you guys?
Yeah, we've had a few new members, but we cooperate like since we left and started up again from the old club. We get on quite well with a club, well, 2 or 3 clubs that are quite close to us. So we've been finding certainly like the Monday night session that we do is like really pretty popular at the moment. Along with the Saturday class, which is a little bit more competition based. But yeah, it's going all right. So it was surprisingly well. So
that's not very what happened there? Karate like cooperating with other clubs. You should be staying in line and promoting your best karate, not the other people's karate, isn't it?
Oh, I think certainly with us, we've noticed like we've been in the HDKI now is that a lot of the clubs we try and all help each other out. Andy will tell you, I'm sure himself, he's been going and helping a club, in Ollerton, which is about, I don't know, a 40-minute drive, something like that from us.
Yeah,
going over there and helping them out. Well, we've all been over and helped them out, but Andy's been helping them out quite a bit. So it's we just look at it there as either we go over and train with them, they come and train with us. It's all good. It's just promoting getting along.
It is. It's like one massive like karate community.
As it should be. We've been training the other day, and I took the picture of the club members. And just went and looked, that's a Shotokan guy. We just joined the club. Shitoryu, Gojuryu, Sekijuku, myself, Jiu-Jitsu guy, Aiki-Jiu-Jitsu guy. And we're all doing one karate in a club without any animosities, without ego, and all learning from each other and experimenting with all the stuff. So it's nice to see that you guys, after being freed from the grasp of the one true organization, doing the same, and you've got an organization who actually allows you to do things. Because after that podcast with you guys, I had quite a few messages from people like, "Oh, there's no good organization around. I had to remove myself from the organization, and I don't want to be anywhere." And I said, "That's not really true because there are good organizations out there. It's just you need to go and look for them and find them."
And you have to make of it as like what you will as well, really. I mean, you'll get out what you want to put in. If there isn't a, like someone saying that, if there isn't a club, well, start one yourself. And try and reach out. And yeah, it's different. It's hard. We leaving like everything that we knew to start something new, and then finding a fantastic community. Really. yeah, we couldn't have asked for anything more, really. How welcoming everybody's been, and it's just really positive.
Did you guys notice a change in your students' mood as well, and kind of approach to training, moving away from that organization from one to the other? Always were just personal impacts for you guys, that you feeling that difference, more freedom. Is that impacting as well your students, or maybe your approach and your behavior in a club towards the students? That you got any feedback on that?
I wouldn't. Mm,
I
question.
like personally, I think I'm a little bit different. I'm trying to approach it a little bit different, but that's because I've like taken probably a big step back from like obviously the previous club. It was just more burnout for me, so it was just like, right, take a step back and just let Sean, our really the chief instructor of the club, to do his thing and support him. So that's like a different thing for me of just sitting back and going, well, I'll just do whatever. Like it's I'll help out, I'll train, I'll do whatever like anyone asks. So it's just a bit of a different approach for me personally.
But yeah, for me, it was like two students I can think of. They've just excelled and they just feel a lot more free. And that sort of came across actually this past Saturday. Just the atmosphere. It's like they didn't want to leave,
Hmm.
didn't want to leave, and the class had like finished, and they just sort of like with beams of happiness, just kind of like bounced out the dojo. For me personally, it was kind of like it's like Chris said, it's hard to leave and everything behind that and then you go through that stage, don't you? And like, oh, have I done the right thing? And then thankfully you get over that. But I just feel free. I feel free to do whatever I want in karate. You know what I mean? No one's telling me what to do. It's like,
Yeah, some of it's
you
the
know,
some of it's the programming I think you've had is like
mm,
of being a student and then being in like whatever association, like it's I think we said last time, it's just that thing of the unknown. So, oh no, I'll stay in this little bubble and won't venture
yeah.
out. And then when you do venture out, you think, Christ, why didn't we do this ages ago? Certainly that's how I feel anyway. So,
No, I agree. I agree. It's like, for example, you're looking through the weekday, you're like, I've got Thursday free. All right, I'll go and train down there. Or this weekend, I'm not doing anything. I'll go and see such and such and go and train with them. That's brilliant. It's awesome.
it is, I suppose, that like Andy's saying there. I mean, we just have like the 2 sessions that we do a week at the moment, and then obviously we're
Mm.
having other clubs quite close to us, or certainly in the surrounding areas. It gives you that option at the moment while the club is finding its feet and growing. Is that you think, oh, okay, we can go and train, you know, in Winthorpe, or we can go and train in
Yeah.
Alton, or once one of the clubs in Nottingham that's just started. I think we're on about going over to help them as well. So it's quite nice just to have that freedom.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen that you've Andy been recently with Meredith Sensei training as well on the seminar. So it's nice to see traveling around and training with different people and stuff with Hayden Meredith, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm correct, right?
Yeah. It was Hayden Meredith. He was good. He was really good, and I mean, it was mind blowing what he was teaching us. It's kata karate, so as I understand it, it's like a different variation of
Yeah, the
Shotokan, isn't
the
it?
Kase
That's it.
High was.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah, like really
Hmm.
different, mind blowing. But he was good. He was very nice, and
And it's nice
the
to see. It's nice to see, a young instructor putting him. He's putting himself out there, putting himself out on the line a little bit. He puts lots of videos out there of his training and what he's doing, and that's a big leap for people to be doing, well, for anyone doing that, because as you probably know, there's plenty of trolls online that would be like, oh, you don't do it like this, you don't do it like that, you're doing it wrong. But as soon as you ask them to provide a video of themselves showing it the correct way, suddenly it's tumbleweeds. So I
Yeah, yeah.
really respect Hayden for putting himself out there. And
Yeah, I agree.
it was, it was one of those where I think he'd reached out to Sean, and Sean was teaching him. And then he told me about him, had a quick look, and thought, you know what,
Yeah,
let's take a chance and get him down. He'd spoken and seemed like a really nice guy, respectful guy, and it just thought, yeah, I said, let's just take the chance and get him booked in to do a course. And you know what, like, I was really apprehensive because I was just like, again, it was something different. It was a different, to what we did, and you know what, it felt actually really familiar. To say it was so quite different, it felt like really
Yeah.
similar as well. And it's that thing of having a beginner's mindset. Have
Mhm.
that beginner's mindset, give it a go, and yeah, and it ended up being a really, really good class. And I think when I think most of us all shared images or video from the course, and it's, well, what can you do? All you can do is say, look, anybody who I know in the karate world, give him a chance. Come and like give him a chance, and you know,
Yeah.
get him to your club and see what his style of karate is all about.
But he's Shotokan as well, right? He's just a different brand
Yeah,
of
it's just a
yeah,
different branch of it,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
But you still, at least you still can relate, right? It's not like completely different kata. It's a
Oh,
similar
yeah,
kata.
no,
It's just a,
No,
but a lot, it's just different. Everything is in the Fudadatch stance, and been a lot of a lot of open hand stuff as well. And yeah, it was just, it felt, like I say, it felt so different, yet but very
yeah,
familiar, really.
Mm.
So
yeah. And he did that 10, oh, what is it? 10 no kata or something?
yeah.
Which
Yeah,
was
he gave us a
impressive.
demonstration
Oh,
of
good.
the ten no kata, which was really, like, really,
Mm.
you'd break it down and look like it was I say, like, a routine, really, of most of, like, the basic movements within that style. That's how I would describe it. But yeah, it was
It's good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get him down your way.
Yeah.
It
Good.
depends on the busy thing now. I'm trying to do less seminars my area and
Mhm.
more go outwards because I don't know why Guildford the clubs don't want to mix together. We were welcoming to everybody. Although saying that our next weekend seminar is sold out, but I had to cancel two this year because there was just no interest.
Okay.
Which is like, I'm teaching up north. I've got 40, 50 people coming. I'm teaching here locally and nobody bothers.
Yeah, it is funny, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's that trying to get people to turn up. I mean, usually it's myself that, like, does most of the booking and organising. It is that when you're, like, thinking about, like, who you'd want to reach out to next and things. It is that thing of, like, you know can we sell it out? I mean, we're fortunate with, we try and offer like, a smaller venue, more intimate, intimate training, which has been the feedback of, like, what people mainly like, that you've got a nice, compacted, not too big, like, course. But then again, if you want the bigger instructors, depending on what they're asking financially,
Yeah.
then sometimes you do need you might need a bigger venue.
Yeah, we know it's a problem. That's why it's 1 hour programs we're gonna start for Karate for Mental Health. We're doing a test seminar in November, which actually is sold out. Apparently, free spaces being left to being booked but not paid yet. But what we're trying to do is to encourage people to do those things. So if people reach out to us, shameless advertising here would be, we offer to pay for the rent. So if nobody turns up, you're not losing anything.
Yeah.
and then sell the tickets and then split the money. So some going to the charity, some going towards the club. I hope that's gonna be encouraging for clubs who are smaller and not in a position to get somebody like myself or Ian or whoever, Hayden, and they're gonna be able to say, hey, we want to do that. Okay, we're gonna pay for you the whole hire, and then we're gonna see how much you're gonna earn, and then if some of that cost gonna go into the supporting our programs. And next dojo we would like to do that. That's kind of my thing, because I know how difficult it was for me to start bringing people, and I know how uncertain you are, if you don't have money for a whole hire, right?
Yeah.
But if
Yeah.
you take that away of the mind, it's easier for people. Okay, we're gonna try. You don't need to get super expensive people. You can start with your local instructors, but just get on the track and provide something for your students so they learn. And plus, you can get the like a mental
It
health
is.
talk from us.
It's so hard trying to price it right as well, because you're trying to obviously encourage people to turn up where it's not, obviously it's not too expensive. But again, if people are teaching full time and stuff and that's their living, like I understand that like their cost
Mm.
is is their cost, but it is, yeah, it's just trying to get people to like making sure people turn up, which like thankfully we've always been all right. But then again, you don't want to be, for me, you don't want to be putting one on every week. You don't want to be doing it too
Yeah,
regular. It's trying to find that right time of spreading it out and stuff. So yeah.
yeah. I fell into that trap doing one seminar a month in my dojo. It's just like, A, people getting tired of it. How many you can do? B, people financially struggled, so we put the breaks on the seminars, and it's more actually. It happened aligned that I'm doing more and more seminars away from my town, and in Germany, in UK, in different locations. So it actually works for me that way, and just try to do less but with more people, I suppose, because then people are getting more hungry, and we've got more bookings. So it is it's tricky, especially now with the current financial situation. Everybody's struggling with money. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's difficult for a lot of people, like a lot of people out there, and like I say, that's where it's always handy to try and just keep that cost down as much as
mm.
possible.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts about current situation between the English Karate Federation, British Karate
Ah,
Federation, Scottish Karate Federation, and so
oh
on?
my,
It seems to be I followed it on the beginning as interesting stuff, but then came to the conclusion that it's just never gonna change. It's always gonna be the same. There is something dodgy going on in there, in my opinion. I have no interest in any of the sites, and I have no insight into a details except those who've been posted online and a few emails from different people. So I might be completely wrong, but definitely there is something dodgy going on with the federations, however you want to look at it.
yeah, definitely. I'm a former EKF member when I did Shitori-Ryu like many years ago. So one of the clubs who's actually local to the village I live in, they are somehow involved. I haven't
Mhm.
spoke to them for ages because it was kind of like in 2020, COVID, they shut their doors and I was just left to my own devices. And then I went back to Newark Shotokan Karate Club at the time. So I know they're involved and it would have impacted them. Um, but yeah, it just seems like a lot of infighting. I was actually trying to make sense of it, but I don't think I have. It just, as I understand it, you've got two governing bodies, the BKF and the EKF, who work together, or still are together, sorry. And then there was like an internal fallout due to restructuring, safeguarding, liquidation, everything just seemed to like happen all at once. And the vote of no confidence as well by the BKF for the president from the Scottish karate guys. I can't think of the name. Complicated.
Hmm.
Not good. Not good either. Not good for
It's
karate, is
it's
it?
it's
Really?
the big boys and the toys. I think it's
It
that.
is, isn't it?
I tried to like read. I tried reading some of it, like when you saw like some of the stuff was out there. I think I read like the first couple of bits about it and was just like, it doesn't affect me, it's not affecting me, like
No.
obviously I feel sorry for like the athletes, the karate athletes that need to know what's going on for competition purposes and things like that. That's ultimately like
Yeah.
who it's most likely going to hurt if there's not a smooth transition. Or again, I imagine that the you know anyone involved just wants to know like what the hell's going on, I guess. Yeah, it's very very strange. Obviously I know people that are in there, but I just tried not to like get involved. I was like, I don't really fully understand what they're all going on about, so it's just wait until the dust settles and see
Yeah,
see what's going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like more to come, and it's yeah, like Chris said, I feel sorry for the athletes, the instructors, because ultimately they're going to be made to potentially make a choice, like you're either on this side or that side, and
Again, it just
nobody wants it. You
things
know
will
what I
get
mean?
things will get fragmented yet again and
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Again, it's the art that starts to
Mm.
suffer.
I
yeah.
can't. Yeah.
I don't understand all this setup anyway, because I don't know. I'm still am, but through British Combat Association, we are part of the EKF, or I used to be part of the EKF. I never used it, never had a contact with them, but I've been paying the membership. And I don't understand because we approached Sports England for a
Mm.
funding, and they said, "Well, sorry, but karate is not a sport. There is no recognized national governing body." So we've got all these governing bodies which are
Yeah.
not recognized by the main sports for England. I
Well, I
cannot get
imagine.
a funding because karate is not a sport. So how the sport, which is not a sport, went to the Olympics, have a three national governing bodies, but none of them is recognized.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Again, if you
Crazy.
can't, again, you need, I suppose anyone could set up a governing body and say we're the governing body. You're trying to get unity, aren't you? And obviously
Mm,
there is, from what I can see, zero chance of karate having like any unity across the board anytime in the near future whatsoever.
mm.
It's sort of, again,
Unfortunately,
it always seems like it's been the same.
yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing is that I think that the practitioner gonna suffer. It's like, for me, they have no impact, but the image of karate is ruined because again, it's like look at those idiots arguing about everything, breaking everything.
Yeah.
The ability for those who participate in WKF is impacted as well because you don't know if you've got affiliation, you don't have affiliation, you can go, you cannot go. Seems to be going two different governing bodies, so British Karate Federation and English Karate Federation, going on the same competition. It's like, well, which one is it? Who you representing?
Yeah,
What's going on?
Yeah. It's a bit of a mess. And my other thought is, did it really need to be plastered all over Facebook?
Mm,
Probably not. There's just for me, there's a way of doing things and just sorted things out. Do it away from social media because I don't think that did karate any favors either, to be fair.
yeah, for sure. But that's the way of getting allies, right? Oh, you don't like
Well,
this
there's
one, you
that.
don't like that. You have to take the side. We offering this, they don't do this. We offering that, and then people have to take the side. And any promotion is good promotion, right? You say, right? Doesn't matter how they say about you, but if you plaster all over, people kind of recognize you, and I think that's what the KF does. But like I said, I
Yeah.
have no insight into it, but it's just leaving a bad taste, I
Yeah,
think, for
it is
everybody.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm sure it will all even more will come to light.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
for sure.
I think I think it's quite strange how it's all quiet at the moment. I've not read anything, so stuff is happening.
It's brewing, right? The quiet before storm.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, you see, I know people who I know who are quite high level martial artists and within their own organization are not happy. I'm trying to, as always, stay away from it. It's just something that I can kind of report on my podcast when I'm running out of the subjects. I can always refer to that and have a bit of a wine, but it doesn't impact me. It doesn't impact my students. We don't compete in that format anyway, and we have no, like I said, we never use the EKF affiliation and membership. So um, I
Yeah, I
hope it's
mean,
gonna
like
be. Sorry.
a majority of like either associations or clubs like just won't be affected, obviously, by
Hmm.
that type of thing at all. Um, Again, I'm sure there's a lot of ego involved probably somewhere. Um, it's just yeah, I just find like all this political stuff is just like since we moved, it's like there isn't really much pressure at all, and you haven't got anybody saying no, you can't do this or do that, and it's just so like like so refreshing not
Hmm.
to have like you're always wondering, oh well, if I put this on social media, someone's going to give me a hard time, or it's. I think like what generally we get, or certainly like banded in my direction, is just how bad we are for like leaving to do our own to do our own thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
why do you like? Why do these people care? Like, I don't like. It's. I just honestly, yeah, it's so bizarre. Like the negativity that'll like come our way is unreal just for having the audacity, I guess, to to question our seniors and then finally deciding to leave, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the haters are the most faithful followers, right? They know everything you do because they track every single post and everything. So that's your
Yeah,
most hardcore fans.
yeah,
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 it is. But we're
yeah.
like we're just having a good time, just
Yeah.
doing what we're doing.
I even like recently like reached out to like some people like that are assisting with the old club and just said, look, if you need this, this is where I used to get it from, or if you want this, this is where I used to get it from, and they give all different random bits of like information because I was just like, I don't really want like to have to argue or have any animosity with anyone. I just like my energy does. I just don't really want to have to be like that, but and be arguing with people or anything like that. So it was like try and hopefully smooth a bit of ground, a bit of ground, and even in the future, I said like, look, if we're doing courses, which a lot of some people, that I've been dealing with, they used to come on the courses. And then oh well, we're just going to let the dust settle, like it's all a big thing, and then hopefully like we're going to come on it, and it's like either do or don't. It's like I'm just we're just providing opportunity, and it's well we're just going to try and show loyalty to the old instructor, like at the minute, and it's like
Yeah.
oh, what we haven't, what because we left, what like why 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 wouldn't you still want to come on a course that's going to be someone different and have opportunity? Like you're not showing any disloyalty by doing that. You're just trying to further your knowledge and gain
Hmm.
something new. It is very, very bizarre.
Really
Something just
bizarre.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's just like really bizarre. I always think that they're just holding themselves back from like progressing in karate. The amount of things you can go to a course and take away and think, oh, that'll do. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
strange,
we had like
strange
what
one, isn't it?
We had like two courses, obviously like back to back, which isn't usually like how we'd do things, but it's just the
No.
way the way it landed. And we'd got one course one week, and a seriously experienced Kumite chap with John O'Neill, and he was like I should say I was lucky enough to be the uki like in his session, and I was like getting swept, and I used to like doing like ashibarai and things like when I was competing, and he was sweeping me in ways that like I'd never even dreamt of or even thought about doing, and it was just even I came away like just mind blown, like going, okay, well that was awesome, you
Yeah.
know. And then the following week we've got Hayden doing Kaseha, and it was just the movement and the power, and thinking, God, like how I can generate this power with only just this minimum amount of movement. Two very different classes, and you just think, God, why? People aren't going to come just because why we left the old club. Like it doesn't just doesn't make. I honestly just can't
Can't
get
get my
on
head
board
around
with
it.
that thinking. Yeah,
I don't understand it.
yeah.
From
Um,
from a technical point, moving to the new organization, did you had much of a technical adjustment in your like syllabus,
oh yeah.
competing rules and stuff? Like, how do you finding yourself doing that?
For me, it's been a little bit not. I wouldn't say tough. It's definitely not tough. But I mean, you're going from I don't know a syllabus that you have known for so long to then going and doing something that is for me like quite different. I can understand why the syllabus is the way it is in obviously with the new association, but it's still okay. I just got to get my head around this.
Yeah.
It is quite different. But
It,
yeah, and that's really all it is. I mean, competition wise or anything like that it's not much.
no.
It isn't really like that much difference. It's really just the syllabus for grading purposes, you know.
Yeah.
And it is that thing of like getting because it's new and different. You were sort of like I don't know. I'm a bit like that with like things that are new and different. You're a bit like whoa, like okay, I'm not sure about this. Like it takes me a bit of time just to like ease in there. But then once you sort of think, well, okay, this is like why the syllabus is that way. Then it's cool. It's just then obviously transferring that across to the students.
Yeah.
Go on, Andy.
I think like I'm looking at this two ways. Like teaching it to the students, it was like mind blowing because at the time you yourself are trying to get your head around it and trying to understand it, and then teach it to the student. As a not well, just as a student myself, again, it was just different, different, and my syllabus is very different, but challenging. More, I would say, probably more challenging than the other syllabus I had in the other organisation. Definitely, yeah.
And you
How do you
question yourself. You question yourself as well. Like obviously going into it, like that's I certainly have. Of like I think reaching a bit of a burnout point of then, and obviously when you sort of just resetting and finding your feet again. He's like, God, can I do this? Can I still teach, or can I, and there's I guess probably like either imposter syndrome or self doubt. Lots of people suffer from it. It comes, it goes. It's how you like how you try and choose to deal with it. I guess.
And I think as well, it was like new students as well because we didn't really have many. We haven't had we haven't had many students come over with us, have we? So
Well,
it's starting from scratch. You as the instructor have got to get to know loads more different students you've never taught before, and you've got to think, how do they work? How can I try and motivate them, and all of that as well.
that is interesting what you said that your students didn't go with you because usually the students don't care about the lineage and just move with the teacher. So you must have some really hardcore Shotokan followers in your club then.
um, It was, I think, because we'd got like a big group of, there was quite a big group of kids that had like started to come up like with us in the old association. And I was talking to, I actually bumped into some parents today again. I mean, parents who I've known like a long time. I was at school with like with one of the parents of their child that did karate with us, and. I sort of said to them, I says, look, I hope everything's cool, like, personal wise, we get on, obviously. I says, like, I know it's a bit weird, like with the karate thing. I says, it's a shame that, like, it's that way, but, just know that we're open, that you can come train anytime. And, they know that. They've been, their child has been to some of the courses that we put on. Um, but they're very close for like going for their showdown. And I said, like, look,
Yeah.
I said, even if you'd have said to me like, oh, what should we do? I would have said, look, stay. Like you started, you might as well get your showdown, and then you're free to do with like whatever.
Mm.
Well, yeah, well, you're free to do whatever you want anyway. But like, I would just say, you started, in the old association. Why not see it through to at least showdown, and then go from there.
Mhm.
It wasn't certainly when I left, it wasn't about like trying to see what students would come with us. I mean, yeah, sure, it might have been nice if you thought, but again, I understand like why they stay. It's all they've ever known,
Yeah. Yeah.
so the fact that if they said, okay, we're going to come with you or not, for me, it didn't really. That's their choice. It's not really fair to put them in that position, really, that they've got to
Mhm.
to choose, where I think like some parents, certainly in the old club, I think some parents and things like that have put a lot of pressure on other people, on other people's children and things like that, and other parents. And
Yeah.
it's why just let the people can make their own minds up. You don't need to put pressure on people and treat them in a certain way.
Yeah, for
It's,
sure. Are you guys competing in the same competitions with your old clubs, or is it a different?
uh, that we could do if we wanted to.
Yeah, we
I
could.
guess I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if the old association would be
They
that
talked about it.
childish to like say that you can't. I mean, I don't really compete now, like anyway. Um, that being said, I think Sean's managed to twist my arm to come out of retirement briefly, like this year. I must be daft as at 43. I definitely thought I definitely thought I'd hung the competition gear up a bit, but I guess we could, because the old association have like an open championship.
Yeah, good to,
I'd
yeah.
certainly like encourage like the members to go and do it. It's a very very well run
Yeah.
competition. I can't no point me slagging it off because there's nothing to slag off. It's
No.
Mhm.
they do know how to run a good competition.
No,
Yeah,
the
they do.
reason why I was asking, I thought it's because I'm not within the kind of a Shotokan or WKF. I thought that you've got a different organization competing between each other. Then they're going towards top to go to the WKF, like Europeans and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that the all
No.
branches of Shotokan meeting together at some point. So, it was wondering if there's going to be any animosities or kind of misjudging your students when you get into that top that oh yeah, they left us, so we're not gonna be we're not gonna be fair with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if people are gonna take that line, I mean, come on, get it. Does they need to have a look in the mirror, don't they? Like, what? Because
No, they do, don't they?
people left. I
Yeah.
still like it's. Yeah, if that was the case, they've got to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
would if I was refereeing and there was someone from that association there, whatever, I wouldn't like judge them any different. Fair play to them. Fair play to them for stepping out their comfort zone and
That's
going
it.
to a
Yeah.
different competition or a different,
Yeah.
it, it's. I mean, obviously, like I said, we're with the HDKI. Their nationals is generally an open, is an open championship.
Yeah.
So, and you'll see people from all different styles there at times.
Awesome. Yeah, So in general, you over much better in the new place. You're building up your club, obviously. You are building your a friendship with a it's the HDKI, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
terrible with the names and stuff. Do you get much support from them as in development of your new club and stuff?
Support from where? Sorry, Les.
From HDKI to towards you building your new club, all
Yeah,
that
they're
stuff. Just
very,
Yeah, we do.
yeah,
Yeah.
very supportive. Yeah, I mean, one
Yeah.
of the main guys, he's got a club like in a village that's I don't know, like 15 minutes or whatever outside of
Yeah,
Newark. So again, that's one of the clubs that we're quite close with. And I think within our area now, there's quite a few clubs. So again, we're all sort of helping each other out, and I think. I think towards the end of the year, hopefully we'll do like a little inter-club
Right.
competition for the students and things like that, which is always nice.
Yeah.
awesome.
But I mean, like, look, don't get me wrong, like, the HDKI has got the its haters, like people I don't know who disagree with, some of the more senior people, but I don't know, like I look at it as, like, well, that's the senior people, like what, we're just like, again, we're just members, like what, don't
Yeah.
if you've got a problem with them, that's your problem with them. It's not us, like
Yeah,
surely
exactly.
we can have, you know, uh, a working relationship if it was to either do a course or something like that. So it's trying to break down a few barriers, I think, as well as well. There's a lot
Yeah.
of old school. There's a lot of old school. I don't know, falling outs, and obviously, where and it's just trying to, come on, guys, let's leave that in the past. Let's move
Yeah.
forward. Like that's what I'd like to see anyway. Of like a lot of these bits where people have fallen out. It's like, come on, like that's your issue with that person. Let's not just because, like just because we left the JK England, like doesn't mean that I would never do anything like with JK England again, or hopefully any of its members. Like I'm hoping, I know they're pretty much told not to like do
Yeah.
that. But if some of them were open to doing a course or whatever, I'd jump at the chance. What like you just again, it's just opportunities. But if you've got old school falling outs, it's just trying to don't. I'd just say just don't tarnish everyone with the same brush. It's I'm sure
Yeah.
I'm sure you see it as well. I'm sure, like it's
Yes. There's lots of it going around. And actually, a few weeks after talking with you, I learned that I've got few people who really don't like me and don't like people who come into my podcast and stuff like that. So it's funny, but they talking to me and they are really friendly and stuff like that. It's just like, you don't like me, just say it. I don't mind. Yeah, I got lots of people who
usually,
don't
yeah,
like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually, I'd like to at least what's the reason? Why?
Yeah.
Like, what is the reason?
Mm.
Because you're doing something different. Well, it's not. That's not. They don't like you. That's probably jealousy, I'm sure, or something like
Yeah.
what? Like it's yeah. I just find people that like hate on other people constantly. It's what's the motive? Like, just get on with your life. Just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just get on with, it's funny because like we're all putting on a gi, we're all doing karate, some of it's different, some of it's the same. That's okay. But we're all trying to I like to think we're all trying to learn and just progress in our own way. Definitely. Just no
and
need
Yeah,
it's
for it.
it is how you act upon those things. Because we all getting, at least I know that I am getting jealous. And the best example was the other day. I've seen one of my friends posted how busy he is, and I thought, oh, you motherfucker, you're better than me. You just booked 3 times in the place when I was there a couple of years ago. They didn't book me. So I think like, oh, I can be either grumpy or I'm gonna ring you. So I ring him and I said, well. And we've got the ongoing joke wherever we go. If I'm teaching there first, I tell the group to make sure when he's coming after me to tell him that my karate is better than his. And he does the same to me. So if I'm going and he was there before with training and they say, oh, actually, but his karate is better than yours. So I rang him and I said, I now I have to admit that your karate is better because you've been booked twice to that place and I haven't been booked after I've been. I said, oh, no, you got it wrong. I just posted the pictures of where I've been before. I'm not going there. I haven't been booked, so we're equal. And I'm thinking like, why you behave like that, right? I could have sit at home and be angry with him because he's going somewhere without having all information.
But that's it, like just there, like trying to keep the ego in check, right?
But you can either sit at home and be angry and spew the hate online or talking to other people, or you can confront yourself and the other person and just speak with them. Hey, I think I don't know, you done something wrong to upset me. I want to clarify it, right?
Yeah.
But it takes guts to do that, I think. Not that I try to put myself as a very brave person or something like that, but it just learned through the years that the things that I imagine in my head are not necessarily the truth in the world there, right? I'm creating my own because I have a low self-esteem and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I create my own world and a vision of the world, so I need to take action on it to verify it.
Yeah. And then there's probably like trying to, rather than probably speaking to somebody and like either getting that out, you're just making all that big scenario in your head that then makes it makes it worse. It's this is the thing with our situation with some of the people that still like on our case or whatever. It's just like let it go. Like it's no good for them. Surely like it's no good for like their mental health. It's no really good like for ours. Just come on, let it go. Everybody just let it go. And
and I think this is the important thing in the clubs, that if you are a smaller club with a bigger organization, that you don't have that hesitation to talk about problems with other people, right? Because we are our worst enemies and we make things much worse and bigger in the head. Yeah. And you've got somebody, hey, I thought this about the club. Can I speak to you? Yeah, sure. Let's come on. Let's have a chat. Instead of being told off and put in your place and do what I told you, because then you're just brewing it in your head, and then your mental health is getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
We're all doing something like the karate for our mental health as well. Like it makes us feel good. Get your gear on, even if you don't want to train. Get your gear on, go and train. No different, I imagine, if someone's going to the gym or going running. They get the gear on, get out there. It's it's certainly what I've found is like, it needs to be all these things. You just need to speak about it more. Communication is definitely the thing that will solve most things. Is like, if you think there's a problem with someone, just approach it with them. Like, you don't have to fall out. Just try and do it as civilly, I guess, as you can.
Yeah, I think it just amazes me. I can't help but wonder all these fallouts which happen. I just sometimes wonder, well, if someone had said they had a problem with somebody else and they just sat down and had the conversation, or somebody just sort of mediated between both parties and said, right, see your point of view, let's forget about it. Probably would have ended it. And like, I think it was when I left, I messaged one member and I said, look, if you ever want to talk while I've left or anything like that, we could go for a coffee. Here's my number. Well, you've got my number rather. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Come and have the conversation. Definitely. But I don't know, is it because people are afraid to reach out and have that conversation? Or is it easier? Is it easier just to not and just criticize? I don't know.
I think people are afraid of taking responsibility because approaching somebody and saying what you think, it takes some courage, right? You need to master. It's easier to talk about somebody in the third person than in a first person face to face, You might get punched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you block it though. Make sure you block.
It's surely like the more, I don't know, like the more, like you just think like, oh, the hate that say some of the hate that we get, you think, well,
Yeah.
if we just packed up and weren't doing anything, is that what they truly want? Or and if that's what they truly want, why would you wish that on somebody? Like it's surely we're all like, they're doing a good thing, we're doing a good thing.
Yeah.
Just I don't know. It's the thing that a lot of the time you'll just get people going, oh, you'll never guess what they've been saying about you now, and it's just like, well, they have my telephone number. They are free to call me. They know where I live. Come and knock on the door.
Yeah.
Let's have a cup of tea. Let's sit down and have a chat. I would literally like welcome it, but no, it's like has to. It's the easiest ways to go down the road of, I don't know, negativity and just, I don't know, doing it the wrong way, I guess.
Yeah, well, that seems to be a common theme now with all the kind of online interactions and stuff. I think there is something difficult now for people in a communication face to face.
I think people don't like it. People don't like being face to face. It's like makes them uneasy, and it is uneasy. But surely it's better than being hidden behind a mobile phone screen or a computer keyboard or something. Surely.
Yeah.
But even that, they don't want to have a direct, especially with confrontation. I'm not saying like a nice, polite. It's easy. I don't know. It's something like a self-preservation that you don't want to confront somebody who might hurt you subconsciously. So people don't want to clear that stuff. But it's the same in marriage. It's the same in friendships. If you don't clear things out straight, they're just gonna get worse. And
well, you're seeing it today on the news, aren't you? With Ricky Hatton passing away and stuff like that. The boxer, how sad's that? And again, I dare say, like, either communication and professional help probably. I don't know, hopefully might have like stopped something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do another shameless plug here. So if you guys running a dojo and would like to kind of learn more about the mental health and how I can support your students and noticing the odd behaviors and stuff like that, we've got a free action plan for karate and mental health where you can check if your dojo is prepared for the situation, and if you want to improve your skills in that area, we've got the course. It's on the Karate for Mental Health CIC website. Link down below and above. I always do that. I point it up and say down. That way.
No, sorry, Andy, after you. Sorry.
No, I think it's like creating that safe space, though, isn't it, in the dojo? Creating a nice open space where, like, if anybody wants to talk, they can do, and I think it's tricky. I think we've done it certainly in our club. We've done it because everyone talks away, but I think the old club there wasn't that there for some reason. I don't know why, but
yeah, I mean, I think as well of like maybe just having like sorting something out, like maybe like what you're doing, Les, or like just saying like, right, one evening a month we're just going to meet in the dojo. Anyone wants to meet anything they want to get off the chest or something like that, because
we started doing I stole that from Ken Knight, the Kung Fu TV, Ken Fu TV, sorry, Kung Fu. Sorry, Ken, I'm gonna be upset with this, but Ken Fu TV. He's got a check-in pages, so we used our Karate for Mental Health journals. So everybody comes in and fills it up how they feel and what they want to work on themselves, and then they're comparing the notes after. We got like a mood gauge, so they can put if their training helped them or not, and they got 365 pages in it of like planning the structure in the sessions, long, short, and medium-term goals, and how they feel the day, what went wrong, what went positive way. And so that seems to be helping people mentally be kind of prepared for the session and do the analytics of the session. Plus, I think the best thing is to show the vulnerabilities, right? I talk about my past issues and stuff, and if I had a shit day, they know straight away because I'm crying, and today is a shit day. So, leading by example. If you allow people to talk about the problems because you that freely, they very quickly jump in on the bandwagon and talk to you, right?
Yeah.
But
Definitely,
what Andy was saying, it sounds like you're doing that anyway. So
Yeah, I
good on
think
you.
we're like all
Yeah.
pretty like like after session and stuff. We all talk. We're talking. We encourage the kids to talk and stuff as well. Yeah, and just or even before they come, like we know some of them might have GCSEs coming up or something like that. Or how are you doing? You all right? Feeling the pressure? It's good. That's normal. It's I think there's a lot of emphasis like put on either adults or kids with anxiety and stuff like that. But I think it's anxiety is a normal thing. Being worried is normal, but it's just how all these things are normal. It's just obviously how how you deal with it. Or recognizing the signs if it does become a little bit too much, then maybe you need to speak to a professional. Because it's it's. Or seeking medical, it's even maybe seeking medical help.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. That it is normal. We're all going through it. How you deal with it is the key. But if you got the younger members or maybe somebody who's been isolated, like I've got a lady who's been isolated by her family from the society for nearly 20 years, so she kind of doesn't have the skills and
The social
communication.
interaction.
Yeah. So you have to show it. Like if I show that, hey, I'm afraid because I've got the meeting or next month I booked for 3 talks with the council members and I've got an anxiety about it because I haven't done it for a long time talking to so many let's say important because the high level of council people, doing like that. When I went to meet mayor for award, I was like all sweaty. He's a normal guy, but I'm all making it in my head how important he is because he's got the chain on his neck, right? But if you lead by example and tell your student, hey, we're all going through that, especially kids, right? Like my son just moved up to BJJ to the older group, so he was today really stressed about it. And I said, well, you can look at it 2 ways, right? An anxiety, the chemical compound is exactly the same as excitement. You're choosing with your brain, either you're excited about it or you're scared of it, right? And I said, both are fine, just recognize it. And he went there, he was a little bit shy, but he said it was a great session and he really enjoyed it. So, it's just showing them and giving them a chance to process it and lead by example. If you open with people communication about your feelings, they more willing to open up to you and have a better time and deal with their problems as well.
Definitely what I've learned as well, especially with doing the podcast as well, is that even some of these like big name instructors as well, that they like if they're teaching a class, just if someone says, "Oh, I really enjoyed that," or "that class was good," because the amount of times that what I'm seeing is that amount of times instructors teach and everybody's just like leaves and either just goes home because they're not talking or whatever, and it's the instructors are then left like, oh, God, was it any good, or was my teaching off, or even I'm not saying like any students just like start absolutely praising your instructor, but just every now and again just say, oh really, if you enjoyed it, just let them know that you enjoyed it, because it's I think even that is a boost for an instructor, that they because again, if you didn't enjoy it, say it, like, I didn't really enjoy that because, and then you can go from there, can't you?
Definitely.
I've got a funny story with that. I was when I started my group with elderly, I had one lady in particular. She was always, her face was so grumpy. I thought she really doesn't like the session. It doesn't suit her or something, but she keeps coming every week for the class. And I eventually mastered the character. Said, "Why are you so angry on the session?" She said, I'm not angry. I'm loving it, but I can't hear you. I'm deaf, so I'm trying to focus. I thought she absolutely hated the sessions.
Yeah. Well, at least you know. At least you knew then.
Well, that's it. Yeah. At least you know. Yeah. But it's a horrible. On that in itself could be like a, being an instructor, being in that position where the doubt, the anxiety comes in, especially like Chris just said, like nobody tells you they like the class, or the other scenario is, I don't know, you had 15 students last week, but then you get only 5 the next week. You're like, oh my God, well, what's going on? Where are they all? What's happened? No, it must be something I've done. Or a student stops coming to your class.
Yeah,
You think it's you know what I mean?
it took
Horrible.
me a long to get used to when I'm going on seminars. That's always the fear that people not gonna like it. But then you started comparing yourself. Oh, I should do it like this. I should do it like that. But then eventually you get onto it, like this is who I am. That's how I'm gonna be teaching, and you either like it or not. If not, I'm not gonna be invited again. My friend's gonna be invited. So,
Oh, that's
so
it. Yeah.
You just have to keep a little tally chart, Les, just between you and your friend.
I've been to more places than you.
I am not. I'm no match to him. He's booked in last year. This year he had 35 seminars this year.
Wow.
Well, I've got only 14, so
Yeah,
I'm
you say
far
only
behind.
you say only 14, but I mean that's
Well,
Still good.
that's
that was
Yeah.
jokingly. I remember when I started and I was hoping like having one a year. And then it just, actually the same person plus Ian Abernathy. Actually, I can say it. It's Christian Vedeveld. They said just be patient, put up the work, and it's all gonna accumulate. That you're never gonna see how when it's coming. And he was absolutely spot on. They've both been absolutely spot on. And you do one, then two, then three, then four, then five.
Yeah.
it's no different than us with the podcast. And again, like yourself with your
Yeah.
podcast, like it's you start out and think, okay, well, we'll go for these people because I know them and that they inspired us, and you go from there, and then you reach out, and again you have people come and do like the courses and seminars like for you, and I think you get a bit of a, hopefully, like get a good rapport with them, and then you just say, oh, would you be up for doing the podcast as well? And it's funny, like it all starts to it's true, like if you just put the work in, and I think you're honest and you're upfront with everybody, and generally, if you're a decent human being as well, like people will see that, and like it all starts to come, together. It's no different, I think, than the courses. You try and look after and give everyone a good experience and treat them well. So then you think, well, if they go to different clubs or speak with different instructors, that they'll go, oh yeah, if we went to Newark, really looked after us there, and what else can you hope for, really, I guess.
Well, that's it.
Just about putting the work in.
Yeah, we had some really good feedback from. It was interesting because John O'Neill Sensei, who we had, I think I shared that Hayden is coming down, and John O'Neill's like, oh yeah, this is like, posted, commented, really, really lovely people, really enjoyed my time there, and saying that in like Hayden's direction. It was just so nice. It just makes you feel good that, we are doing something right, and people want to come down and do courses with us or for us. Definitely.
Excellent. Guys, remind where can people find you? Where can they listen to you? Because my kids need to go to school. I need to put them to sleep, so I need to put them.
Well, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual. UK Karate Podcast. Just search us. You'll find us on all of those and all of those places.
Where we are,
And please give us a like and subscribe.
Yeah.
It really does help. It all helps.
Yeah.
If if you guys want to support both of the podcasts, I think the best way is to just listen to another episode, share with your friends, impose it on enemies, just to annoy them a little bit, rough it up, and yeah, like and subscribe if you wish to, and yeah, keep listening.
Yeah. Thank you ever so
Yeah.
much, Les. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Right.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
guys.
us.